Welcome to Mindset to Motion podcast, where transformation is not just a dream, but a journey we embark on together. I'm Chase, your guide on this path of health, fitness, and mental resilience. Each episode, we will dive deep into strategies that bridge the gap between wanting and becoming, exploring everything from fitness hacks, biooptimization, and nutrition tips to the power of a positive mindset and habit formation. So, whether you're taking your first steps or looking to elevate your journey, you're in the right place. Let's get set to put those aspirations into action. Hello and welcome back to the Mindset to Motion podcast, where we journey together towards a healthier, more empowered life. I'm Chase. Today, we're venturing into exciting realm of health and wellness involved in biooptimization. This episode is called Introduction to Biooptimization, Enhancing Your Life with Simple Tools. It's all about unlocking your body's potential through science-backed strategies and tools. Whether you're a seasoned athlete or just starting your wellness journey, biooptimization has something for everyone. Let's dive in and discover how we can fine-tune our bodies and our minds for optimal performance. So, what exactly is biooptimization? In simple terms, it's the art and science of using knowledge about our biology to enhance our physical and mental performance. This can involve nutrition, sleep, exercise, and even how we manage stress. It's about making small informed adjustments to our lifestyle to improve our overall well-being. Each of these areas can build on one another to help with overall health, recovery, and performance. We will discuss things like cold exposure, heat exposure, breathwork, sleep, mobility, grounding, mindfulness, meditation. While much of the industry is showing videos of cold plunges or people using O2 replacement therapy while they're inside of an infrared sauna, there are many ways to approach getting similar results that won't break the bank. But where do we start? Let's break it down and look at some foundational elements of biooptimization, like understanding our body's rhythms and the role of micronutrients in our health. Before we start, I want to briefly address the stigma that biohacking or biooptimization is expensive and requires that you get thousands of dollars of testing, followed by tens to hundreds of thousands of dollars of supplements and devices that you have to see results. Biooptimization is not only for the rich, and many of the effects that are received by these expensive devices and procedures or supplements are often available for free or very cheap. So then I've had people ask me if you can get the same results by doing it with things around the house or by doing free versions of this, why would anybody spend that kind of money or spend a small fortune on these biooptimization tools and systems? And plain and simple, the reason that most people do it is time. While you can achieve similar results for free, it does take longer. And so people who can afford these advanced systems are able to get the same result in a faster time. So similar to other situations, they're trading their money for time and increased efficiency. Now, does that mean that if you use the free options or if you use other systems that we're going to talk about today, that you won't see the same results or the same effects? Not at all. Most of these things, if you do the free versions, it's just not going to be as concentrated of an effect because these other things are designed. So we'll talk about infrared therapy or cold plunging. It's a more direct and concentrated effect than what you would get if you're just standing outside in the cold or being sprayed by a cold water hose or taking a cold shower. So you still get the same effect. You just don't have to spend all of the money in order to get the concentrated effect that you may get from something like cryotherapy, where you're in a very cold environment. You might be wondering, what tools do I need to start biooptimizing? Well, the good news is that many of these tools are already at your fingertips. For instance, tracking your sleep can reveal insights into your rest patterns and how they affect your daily energy levels. Simple apps on your smartphone can help you monitor your sleep quality and duration. Sleep is the foundation of your body's ability to heal and take advantage of other steps you implement. You can spend weeks working out to improve performance and build muscles. However, without the proper sleep, your body cannot fully heal and allow the muscle recovery to take place. It is recommended that we get between 8 to 10 hours of sleep each day. This time is essential to ensure that our other biooptimization techniques that we deploy are actually working. Sleep debt is very difficult to overcome. It can take 4 days of full nights of sleep to recover from missing a single hour, and it can take all the way up to 9 days of full nights of sleep. Those nights being 8 to 10 hours to fully recover from missing that single hour of sleep. I'm sure many of you, like me, this seems like an impossible feat. Some of you have circumstances that do not allow you to get 8 to 10 hours of sleep on a regular basis. I'm the father of a heart warrior. He had 3 heart surgeries before the age of 3, and he continues to have special needs and was recently diagnosed with level 3 autism. Part of his condition means that he does not sleep and has not slept through the night since birth. We have many nights of 3 to 5 hours of sleep being the most that we get. I understand that this limits my ability to recover and increase performance, and I'm sharing this because I know that others are going to have similar situations that will mean that you have to work harder and incorporate naps into your schedule when you can to offset the lost hours of sleep during the night. I also want you to understand that it isn't a losing battle. Just like many other areas of your performance training and recovery, there will be some that you have to work harder to address. Another powerful tool is mindful eating. Paying attention to how different foods affect your body and mood can guide you towards a more optimized diet. We discussed this last week on the topic of elimination dieting to find problem foods, that some foods, even if not allergy affecting, can wreak havoc on your body and mind. So pay attention to these and track them in a food journal so you understand what happens when you eat certain foods. Another part of mindful eating is paying attention to when you are satiated versus trying to finish what is on your plate. And let's not overlook the power of hydration and regular movement. Drinking enough water and incorporating short, frequent breaks into your day can have a massive positive effect on your well being. Implementing biooptimization strategies might seem daunting, but it's all about starting small. Begin by choosing one area to focus on. Maybe it's improving your sleep or being more mindful about hydration. Use tools we discussed to gather data and insights about your current state and set small, achievable goals for improvement. Let's discuss some of the most common that seem to have the biggest impact on the body and mind. Sleep, as discussed, is essential to allow your body to recover, and if intensive exercise is part of your regular schedule, help your muscles rebuild from being torn. In our hyperconnective world, sleep seems to be the most difficult adjustment to make in our daily lives. We are constantly surrounded by another beep or ding or whirl from our devices that are trying to grab our attention and convince us to stay awake a little longer, maybe to watch another episode or to scroll a little bit longer. Set up a nighttime routine that will help you wind down and be in bed and sleeping on time. If you plan to be sleeping by 9 p.m. and you start getting ready for bed at 8:45, there's a good chance that you will not make it to bed on time, and an even worse chance that you will have fallen asleep. Work backwards from when you want to be asleep. Let's say 9 p.m. is when I want to be asleep. That means I need to have about 15 minutes in bed to actually fall asleep. Unless you're one of those people like me who are asleep before your head even hits the pillow most of the time, you probably will also want to add in about 10 minutes to brush your teeth, brush your hair. Again, unless you're me. 20 minutes to clean up the kitchen, start the dishwasher, another 10 minutes to let the dogs out and ensure that they're settled for the night, checking on the kids, make sure everything around the house is locked up. All in, this will take about an hour, so you will need to start your bedtime routine around 8 p.m., which doesn't include any time for reading if you do that before bed. Just be aware that the TV tries to lock us in with these 20 to 30 minute episodes, thinking, I'll just watch one more and I'll still start getting ready in time. Stopping watching the shows that you watch on a regular basis can be very difficult to do, especially if it's something that you use as leisure time or spending time with your spouse in the evenings as part of your wind down routine. try switching off that TV earlier, giving yourself a full hour to get ready for bed, and maybe adding in an extra 15 to 30 minutes to talk before bed and maybe read books before you actually lay down to go to sleep. Be aware of the fact that the first time you try a routine is probably not going to be perfect. You're also probably going to need to make some adjustments to it, and it's okay if trying your routine for a few days and you fail, or trying your routine for a few days and you realize that you're not starting the routine in time. It's fine. Just recognize that you haven't made those adjustments and then start to tweak it a little bit so that it fits into your schedule and it gets you towards your goal of being in bed by a specific time. Now let's talk about breath work. Breath work is something that is new to me. Haven't been working on it for a super long time, but it's really interesting how much of a difference it makes in how I feel when I start my day off with this. Now, during our normal day, we do not get enough exertion that allows for our lungs to fill to capacity. Because of this, we do not get enough oxygen to our brain, and our body has to work harder without the optimum resources. It's like blowing up a balloon, but putting it inside of a can, right? You're able to fill that balloon, but you have something that's restricting the ability for it to grow to its full capacity, right? And because our normal lifestyle of just sitting at a desk, working remotely, sitting at a couch, watching television, doesn't cause us to have to take these really deep breaths or fill our lungs up to capacity. It's rare that we actually ever need to fill our lungs up and use the full capacity of that. Meaning that because we're not taking in these full deep breaths, our blood is not being oxygenated to the level that it needs to be, which means that things like our brain and other areas of our body that need that oxygenated blood are just not getting the full optimum resources that would really make you stand out. Now, with active breathing, we're forcing ourselves to take deeper breaths, and this allows our lungs to fill more fully. I do want to give a little bit of a warning here, though, because when you first start doing this and you're taking these deep breaths, you're inhaling fast, you're exhaling fast without breaks in between, you may feel a little bit of lightheadedness when you first start. And so, what I have been doing, and this was a recommendation from a biooptimization expert, his name is Gary Brecka, and I will put a link to a video that he has on breathwork in the description. But one of the recommendations that he and Wim Hof suggest is starting off with something like 5 breaths at a time. And these are deep inhales, filling your lungs, filling your diaphragm, you should feel the breath in your belly, like everything is filling up. You're inhaling fast, you're exhaling fast. It's almost like you're hyperventilating, but intentionally getting full deep breaths. Um, and like I said, this can make you start to feel lightheaded. So we'll start off with just 5 breaths at a time, and then you can build up from there, right? So after you get comfortable with doing 5 breaths at a time, now I don't mean like do 5 breaths one day, 6 breaths the next day, 7 breaths the next day, like do 5 for a week, and then build up and start adding sixth or seventh, until you get comfortable with it. You want to make sure that you're not doing something to throw your body out of whack and then you end up passing out while you're trying something like this. I will tell you from my personal experience, the after feeling of this breath work, I just feel elevated. I feel more happy. I feel more conscious about the decisions and the things that are going on around me. I don't feel like things are bothersome as much. I don't get agitated as much when I implement these breathwork techniques. Now, there are opposing arguments about breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth every time, or in through your mouth and out through your mouth, or only through your nose all the time. And to be honest with you, it's going to start off with what's comfortable for you. There are some studies that show that one is more optimal than others. And to be honest with you, when I try breathing in through my mouth, I always end up feeling like my mouth is dry from it. And it just makes me not want to keep doing it. So I think it's going to be a personal preference. And especially if this is a new habit that you're trying to add into your daily routine. Cold water immersion therapy is a very popular trend, and Instagram and TikTok and all of these things, we're seeing tons of people doing cold plunges. And many of us have seen athletes taking an ice bath after an intense workout. And what they're doing is trying to take advantage of that cold, reducing the swelling and allowing for a faster muscle recovery. However, there are some studies that show that the cold water immersion is better for a pre workout because it allows for better circulation and because it takes your body longer to heat those muscles up during the workout. So it's not actually burning the muscle as fast. You have a longer time that it's burning fat. Just like similar to what I was talking about a minute ago, your breath changes and it causes you to inhale and not maintain the oxygen as long. And because of that, it also activates if you're in the cold, it activates the shiver mechanism. And shivering is one of the best ways to increase your activity in order to shock your body into doing something differently. Just like with the breath work, getting into very cold water because you're changing the way you're breathing can enforce more oxygen into your blood, which is more oxygen to your brain, and it may make you feel different. So you may get a little bit lightheaded at times. I will say, similar to the breath work, taking a cold shower definitely makes me feel more elevated, more on, almost like a high that you get from it afterwards. It's a different type of feeling. You feel better, right, after you've done this. Not initially. You don't feel better when you first get into the cold. Now, I don't have a cold plunge, and let's talk about why. There's cost associated, right? Unlike the first two, sleeping and breathing, which you can just do for free, cold water tubs are not cheap if you're getting a true cold plunge. And these tubs can cost thousands of dollars. And there are very cool hacks that are out there that you can use a water chiller and a stock tank to get the same results, or you just put a ton of ice into a tub, or they people who have hacked deep freezers and they fill it with water and they seal it so that it doesn't leak, put a bunch of ice in there. So there are ways of getting around this, but there's a cost associated with that, right? Because you got to keep getting ice, you got to keep getting you got to keep the freezer going so it keeps the water cold enough, or the water chiller. Another way to approach this that is a more affordable option is just turning the water all the way to cold at the end of your shower. Most times you're going to take a shower every day. After you've finished washing off, just take that water and turn it all the way to cold. What I do is I turn it to cold and I step out of the way of the water stream. I let it cool. I let the water get completely cold and then I step back into it. You spend about 3 to 6 minutes getting as much of your body covered by the cold water as you can. So if you're just standing on the shower, I usually will spin around, getting my back, getting my chest. I try not to get my head wet until right towards the end. Because once you get your head wet with the cold water, sometimes it can cause you to get a little bit of a headache. So I usually keep my body under the cold. There towards the end, about the last 30 to 45 seconds, I will put my head under the water and just let the cold water run over me that way. I'm going to be honest with you though, it is going to suck. It won't get better after you've done it 10 times, 100 times. When you reach over, turn that water to cold, your brain is going to want to run away. Just stick with it for as long as you can. And if the first time that you do this, it's only for 10 seconds, that's fine. Just work overtime to increase your time slowly until you can start doing it for 3 to 6 minutes. Now, there will be some people who say because it is not a cold plunge that you need to be in there for 15 minutes or whatever. That's not accurate. Like, just doing anything is better than doing nothing. So just start with small changes and you can improve that over time. Similar to dropping the temperature of your body, many have amazing results with heat therapy, either in a sauna or steam room, or by using infrared or near infrared light therapy. These types use heat to increase the temperature, which helps the blood flow and helps improve circulation. There are also studies that show that using heat therapy can be helpful with improving sleep, and that the use of a sauna for some time between 1 hour and 30 minutes before bed can help with improving your circadian rhythm, allowing you to fall into a deeper, more restful sleep faster. Now, owning a sauna can be expensive, both for the initial cost of buying it as well as the electricity to keep it running if you're not using like a fire sauna. While you might not get all of the benefits of a sauna, you can also start off by just taking a warm shower or a hot shower at night before you go to bed. Same thing, 1 hour to 30 minutes before bed, taking a nice hot shower and allowing the water to run all over your body, and it will help with improving how deep of a sleep you get into at night. Journaling and meditation is the last area that I really want to cover today. Many people might not consider this a biooptimization, but I will tell you that both practices, journaling and meditation, you start to learn how to clear your mind. And that's from personal experiences. Journaling helps you by taking thoughts out of your head and putting them on paper or online if you're using an online journal, which can help by making you feel like you're not holding on to the weight of the world on your shoulders. And meditation is a practice where you sit or lie with yourself and try to clear your mind. You focus on something like breathing, your core, or you focus on a focus word like peace or calm or tranquility. It's usually a word that you repeat over and over in your mind in order to just focus on that one thing. Now, the goal is to spend as much time as you can without getting antsy with a clear mind. Now, when you start this, you will feel like 2 minutes is 2 hours. And in our digitally connected world, we have a hard time waiting for anything. And when you're literally doing nothing, it can feel like the biggest waste of time. Again, personal experience. You might feel like you can't clear your mind, and that's okay. You should just acknowledge the thought and then get back to your focus point. And start small, 2 to 5 minutes. Increase over time. You don't need a fancy app or meditation music to start. Just find a quiet place and try to focus on one thing until it becomes easy. When I started with mindful meditation, I was lucky to make it to 5 minutes and almost never actually cleared my mind. And many times I would find a meditation YouTube video that was like 2 hours of calming music. Obviously, I was not trying to make it to 2 hours, but it always caused me extra stress because the video was 2 hours long. Now, jumping to a free option, I stumbled onto the Meditation Minis podcast, which turned out to be the best for me to get started. These episodes are guided and the host helps you focus on something specific. The best part was after the lead-in of the podcast, the guided meditation was usually between 5 to 12-ish minutes. So I knew I wouldn't be there all day, and I finally found myself not worrying about how long it had been. I'll put a link to Shell Hamilton's Meditation Minis podcast in the description, and I highly recommend that you check it out. Remember, the goal of biooptimization, like other things we have discussed on previous episodes, is not perfection, but progress. It's about making incremental changes that lead to significant improvements over time. I'd love to hear from you. Have you tried any biooptimization strategies or tools? What worked for you? What challenges have you faced during testing out these different things? Share your experiences with us here on YouTube. Send it to us on Instagram. Find us on LinkedIn or send us an email. Your insights could help others with their biooptimization journey. As we wrap up today's introduction to biooptimization, I hope you feel inspired to explore how these strategies and tools can enhance your life. In future episodes, we will dive deep into many of these topics discussed today, but the goal for today's episode was just to introduce you to biooptimization. Remember, the journey to optimization is personal and ongoing, and every small adjustment can lead to a healthier, more vibrant you. Stay tuned for our next episode where we'll dive deeper into easy exercises for beginners to help get you moving. Thank you for tuning in to Mindset to Motion. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and LinkedIn for more empowering content. Until next time, keep optimizing your mind and body for the best version of you. And that wraps up another episode of the Mindset to Motion podcast. Thank you for sharing this time with us. And remember, every step you take is a step closer to a better you. For more insights, tips, and stories, make sure you subscribe, follow, and join us next time as we continue to transform our mindsets and set our lives in motion. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Instagram for more resources and support. Here's to moving forward, one thought, one action at a time. Until next time, keep your mindset in motion.